Hi, everybody. Welcome. Just checking to see if I'm live here. It does look like I am. So, welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am just making sure that I'm live. Yes, okay. So, welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to mindfulness meditation tonight. Um, this evening, I'm so grateful to be here with you. And if you're joining us now, just feel free to say hello in the comment section. Tonight, we come together to sit and enjoy sitting together, enjoy mindfully moving, and mindfully breathing together. And we're also going to be doing the first four exercises on the Sutra of the um, the full awareness of breathing, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So, just to start, I would just like to welcome everybody and just check in. Anybody joining us, feel free to check in the comments section. Let us know how your day was, and maybe something that brought you joy today. So I would love to hear from you. Even if you're watching the replay, feel free to just say something that brought me joy today is, and then you can just write that in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, just in the here and now, what is something that brought you joy? Something that brought me joy today was I helped my friend move, and we just had so much fun laughing and laughing and laughing. We were just laughing up a storm. It was just so much fun to be with her. Also, her family. I just plugged in my headphones, so sorry if you couldn't hear me before. Um, so it was just one thing that did bring me joy today was helping my friend move, and it was just so wonderful to be with them, and as they start their new life in their new home. So I'm just wondering, what brought you joy today? I'd love to read about it in the comments. So I'd like to invite you to get into a nice comfortable position, and we'll do our first seated meditation this evening. And for the new people joining us tonight, how this is going to go is that I'm going to invite this bell. It sounds like this. Okay. So I'm going to invite the bell, and I'm going to invite the bell 3 times. And in between each invitation of the bell, we're invited to take 3 deep breaths from our belly. After that time, I'm going to just do a short guided meditation focusing on the breath. And that will flow into a short silent meditation. And the goal for this meditation is to not just push away thoughts, not to just pretend as if you don't have any thoughts in your head. The goal for this meditation is to become comfortable with embracing all of the thoughts that come and go. So if there's, um, you know, a thought about something you did earlier today, or something, maybe you're worried about a friend or a family member, just let that thought be there and ride it out. Just allow it to be there and cozy up to that thought. And before you know it, that thought will come and that thought will go. In the Plum Village tradition of mindfulness, there's a song, a practice song, that is called "The Mind is a Clear Blue Sky." And it reminds us that thoughts come, thoughts go. That's just the nature of thoughts. Um, I feel like I want to sing you the song right now. All right, the song goes like this. I love, love, love this song. The mind is a clear blue sky. The mind is a clear blue sky. Thoughts come, thoughts go, the mind is a clear blue sky. The mind is a clear blue sky. Thoughts come, thoughts go, the mind is a clear blue sky. And you can put in feelings come, feelings go. And it's just this little tune to help you remember that even though you might be having some worrisome thoughts, some anxious thoughts, maybe even pleasant thoughts, but they just keep coming up and up and up, that the mind is like a clear blue sky and the thoughts are sort of like clouds. They come and then they go. So for this seated meditation, I'd like to invite you that if a thought does come, just know that you don't have to push it away. You can welcome it and feel it and just let it be there. And then, just like it came, it will also go. So we'll just be sitting for a little while and I will guide. Again, I will start with a short guided meditation and we will go into a short silent meditation. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. We send our hearts out along with the sound of the bell. May all who hear it awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Breathing in. I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I am breathing out. In, out. Breathing in. I follow my in-breath from its very beginning to its very end. Breathing out. I follow my out-breath from its very beginning to its very end. In, out, beginning, end. Breathing in, I stop and I calm my body. Breathing out, I rest and I heal my body, stopping, calming, resting, healing. And so we will sit in silent meditation until the next sound of the bell. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just allowing thoughts to come and go. I'm going to invite the small bell for some stretching and some massage. Stretch your body. Allow your body to feel awakened. And we're just going to flow into a little mindful movement in the Plum Village tradition, actually, on Thich Nhat Hanh's, that's Thich Nhat Hanh's meditation order. His practice centers are called Plum Village, and they have 3 in the United States, and 1 in Vietnam, 1 in, they're all over the world, and the one that he first created was the one in the south of France. But in the Plum Village tradition, they have 10 mindful movements, which we're not going to be doing today. But the whole idea about mindful movement is that you're mindful of not just your body, but also your mind. So you don't want to just mindlessly move your body. You want to pay attention to how your body's moving and if that feels good, or maybe that does not feel good. So if that does not feel good, maybe try something that does feel good. So today we're just going to be doing some mindful movement while in our seated position. So I'd like to invite you to just sit a little bit more upright and in your chair so that you can feel your sit bones, which is these 2 bones in the glutes area. They're in your trunk area, and they are the bones that are making contact with the chair, and you can feel them, especially with somebody who has a little bit more padding in their trunk like I do. You can't feel it as much as maybe somebody who has a little less padding there, but nonetheless you can still feel the contact of the sits bones on the chair. I'm ridiculous. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're just going to start to move side to side, and you're shifting your weight. Pretend my hands are the sits bones, okay? I'm going to shift my weight all onto one sits bones and then shift weight on the other one. And just see if you can sense where that moment of shifting happens. So that means you're going to shift kind of slow. And you don't want to have to move to extremes here. You're just going to kind of stay right there in the middle. You know, maybe just something like this, nice and easy. And just feel your sits bones on the chair. You can close your eyes if that helps you focus on the sensation happening at your sits bones. Feel the ways that you're breathing. Really feel what that feels like for you, to feel the weight shifting from one sits bones to the other. Notice what the rest of your body is doing. What is the upper part of your body doing? What is your shoulders? What are your shoulders? What is your neck? What are all these things doing? And go ahead and take a pause. Come back, come to center, and just come to stillness. Breathe and feel the echoes of the movement that just happened. See what's alive in your body right now as a result of that movement. Go ahead and start to sway forward and backward. So again, nothing crazy. So as if my hands were the coming back up, coming onto the front parts of my sits bones and then the back parts of my sits bones. Nothing too extreme. I'm not going all the way to the edge. Let's play with um, how the what is the name? The amplitude. Like, what is the amount that I can move? What is the smallest amount I can move and still move forward and backward? That movement is like micro. It's like super, super small. And I'm finding that this movement for me is just really making me slow down and pay attention to how small of a movement can I really make. I'm so used to making big movements, but it takes a lot of focus to make a smaller movement. And then go ahead and come back to center and pause and find the breath. What echoes are alive in you now of that movement that you just did, forward and backward? Excellent. So there's these movements, such as the ones we just did, is just a really great way to start the conversation within your body. So Thich Nhat Hanh likes to say, mind and body are one. They are not separate. We will always, when we come back to the breath, when we come back to the body, we end up coming back to the mind. And there is no separation. So you can't come back to the mind without coming back to the body. They are intrinsically connected. So it seems so simple, these movements, but they're very good for calming and centering and just allowing the mind to settle. So the next thing we're going to be doing here is there are these things called sutras. So this sutra happens to come from this giant book. Look how big it is. It's called Awakening of the Heart, and it's by Thich Nhat Hanh. And these are, so what Thich Nhat Hanh has done his whole life, he's in his 90s now, his whole life he has taken very, very intellectual and deep study of ancient Buddhist texts, and he's understood them very deeply so that he can translate them into ways in which you and I, lay people, not monastics, lay people, just common people, householders, as the Buddhists say, that common householders like you and I can understand these Buddhist texts, and we can gain benefit in our lives, and of course it ripples out to other beings as well, not just us. But it's very beneficial for us to understand these sutras, and one of which is one that we're going to be talking about tonight, is the Sutra on the Full Awareness of Breathing. It's the first sutra in this book. And what a sutra really is so I don't know who out there is watching, if you're a Catholic or Christian or Hindu or what your religion is, but religions have texts, right? There's the Quran, there's the Bible, there's the Bhagavad Gita, and on and on. The Torah, the Talmud. There's so many different texts, and so Buddhism is not a religion, but it is a way in which to live life. So what these sutras are is, from my perspective and my understanding, is that they are just like the books in the Bible. So the books in the Bible were written by people that heard, you know, they're stories of stories of stories, right? So people heard Jesus speak and then they wrote things down, right? And that's where we have the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, all that, right? Well, these sutras were discourses or speeches or retreats that the Buddha held in the Buddha's time. And the disciples or bodhisattvas, enlightened and awakened ones that heard the Buddhist talks, they wrote them down and they wrote them in the books, the ancient texts, the Buddhist texts. And they're called sutras. So they're just basically studies or discourses. And what Thich Nhat Hanh has graciously done to we're so grateful. I'm so grateful for him, is that he has made it so we can actually understand them. And he breaks it down into such simple terms. So, what we're going to be doing today is there's 16 practices on the full awareness of breathing. And one of the main reasons why the Buddha taught these, from what Thich Nhat Hanh is saying, is that when you can practice these 16 exercises, they get broken down into 4 chunks. The first 4 is to focus and calm the body. The second set of 4 practices is you pay attention to your feelings. You notice your feelings and what's happening. The third set of 4 exercises is you focus on the mind, the mental formations, the thoughts that come in, right? And the last set of 4 exercises in this sutra is that it starts to get a little interesting, because he starts talking about how mind and object are not separate. They are not separate. And that it's basically a contemplation on consciousness and all of the things in our consciousness, our conscious awareness. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're just going to focus on the first 4 of these. And that it's basically about calming the body. And Thich Nhat Hanh and the Buddha, the Buddha said, and Thich Nhat Hanh translates, is that when we can calm our bodies, I'll even read this short little excerpt. The first 4 exercises of fully aware breathing help us return to our bodies in order to look deeply at them and care for them. In our daily lives, it's important that we learn to create harmony and ease in our bodies and to reunite body and mind. The Buddha never taught us to mistreat or oppress our bodies. In exercises 1 and 2, the object of awareness is your breath itself. Your mind is the subject, and your breathing is the object. Your breath may be short, long, heavy, or light. Practicing awareness in this way, you see that your breathing affects your mind, and your mind affects your breathing. Your mind and your breath become one. You also see that breathing is an aspect of the body, and that awareness of breathing is also awareness of the body. In the third exercise, the breath is connected with the whole body, not just a part of it. Awareness of the breathing is at the same time awareness of the entire body. Your mind, your breath, and your whole body are one. In the 4th breathing exercise, your body's functions begin to calm down. Calming the breath is accompanied by calming the body and mind. Your mind, your breathing, and your body are calmed down equally. In these 4 breathing exercises, we can realize the oneness of body and mind. Breathing is an excellent tool for establishing calmness and evenness. And he goes on to say that the first 4 exercises is the basis and the foundation before you even think about getting to the next set of 4 exercises, which is to then focus on the feelings. So you have to have a calm mind and a calm body in order to approach your feelings. So I'd like to invite you to get into a comfortable position, and we can go ahead and practice these 4 preliminary exercises, focusing on the body. And I'll invite the bell. Breathing in a long breath. I know I am breathing in a long breath. Breathing out a long breath. I know I am breathing out a long breath. Breathing in a short breath. I know I am breathing in a short breath. Breathing out a short breath. I know I am breathing out a short breath. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing in, I calm my whole body. Breathing out, I calm my whole body. So I wonder how that was for you. for myself, I really loved to feel what a long breath felt like, and I loved feeling what a short breath felt like. And I really appreciated the invitation to be aware of my whole body and to also have the intention to calm my whole body. And it really makes me think that, you know, I feel ready now to face my feelings and to understand my feelings. Whatever should pop up, I feel more adequately prepared to deal with them now that I've calmed my body and I've become more present. So, we're not going to go into this sutra deeper because of time, but next time we do this sutra will be November 19th, because the next time we meet, we're going to study our book called Anger. But the next time we do this, we'll start with the first four and we will do the next four on top of it. Because as you'll see over time, this is very powerful as it builds one upon the other. I have a friend and we practice together, and we set my phone timer for 2 minutes per prompt. So we sit, for instance, breathing in a long breath. I know I am breathing in a long breath. Breathing out a long breath. I know I am breathing out a long breath. And then we set the timer for 2 minutes and we sit doing that practice. And by the time you get to the fourth one, it's like, oh, I feel so good. I feel so relaxed and ready to face the world and face myself and face other people. So, again, if you're interested, it's a big book, so maybe Kindle is a good idea. But Awakening of the Heart, Essential Buddhist Sutras and Commentaries. Thich Nhat Hanh really, he includes the sutra, of course, but his commentaries, for instance, the sutra on the full awareness of breathing is about, 5 pages, but the commentary is much, much longer. And the reason why is because he goes into each number, number 1 of the first 4, and he breaks it down. He helps you really understand what the intention is behind why we do this and why did the Buddha think that this was important. So he really teases it out. So you'll find that the commentaries are much, much longer than the sutra themselves, which I definitely appreciate. So let's get ready for our final silent meditation of the evening. I'd like to invite you into a comfortable position, spine erect, and just feeling, move around until you can find a nice comfortable position for your body. And you don't have to remain still or stiff when you're sitting. You can, at any time, you're invited to move mindfully in order to find a position that works for you. And if we were meeting in person, that would still be okay. So I'll invite the bell 3 times, and then we'll sit until we hear the next sound of the bell. And I'll invite the small bell again for stretching and massage. So thank you so much, everybody, for your practice this evening. I will be back on November 5th, where we will read chapter 11 of Anger, which is this book, Anger by Thich Nhat Hanh, and the title of that chapter is Restoring the Pure Land. So we will find out what that means next month on November 5th, and again November 19th. We will do the combination of the first four and the second four of the practices in the Sutra on the full awareness of breathing from the book Awakening of the Heart by Thich Nhat Hanh. So again, thank you so much for your practice, and may all the goodness that we generated here together ripple out to be beneficial and to help heal all beings. Thank you so much for your practice. This is Jenny bowing out. Feel free to leave some comments to let me know how this practice was for you. And also in the comments, I will put what I shared with you about the next two meetings. Oh, thank you, Daisy. Have a good one. Bye-bye, everybody.